Once upon a time, there was a very successful businessman. For many years, his business had been phenomenally successful. But then a couple of years ago, things started to go wrong. Little by little, the business went into a tailspin, went into decline. So one day, he decided to get all of his employees together for a dinner so that he could talk to them about the business, talk to them about his plan to bring the business back to dominance. That Saturday morning, before the dinner, he was sitting at home in his study, working on his speech for that evening. His wife had to go out shopping, and a few minutes later there was a knock on his study door, and there appeared his 7-year-old son. The boy said to his father, he said, "Dad, I'm bored, I got nothing to do." So the father half tried to amuse the child by playing a game with him, and at the same time half tried to finish working on his speech. But after a while the father realized that wasn't working, and that if he didn't find some other way to amuse his child, he wasn't going to get his speech finished in time. So he picked up a magazine and he flipped through the magazine until he came to a large, brightly colored map of the world. He tore the map of the world out and he ripped it into a whole bunch of little pieces. And he took the pieces into the living room with his son, and he threw the pieces all over the living room floor, and he said to his child, "Son, if you can put the map of the world back together, I'll give you $20. The boy rushed to the task, eager to earn the extra pocket money. And the father went back to his study thinking that he'd bought himself maybe 2 hours to finish working on his speech. But about 10 minutes later, there was a knock on the study door. And there appeared the 7-year-old boy, smiling, holding the completed map of the world. The father smiled and he said to his son, "How did you finish it so quickly?" The boy smiled. He said, "You know, Dad, I had no idea what the map of the world looked like. But as I was picking up the pieces, I noticed that on the back, there was a picture of a man. So I put a blank piece of paper down and I put the picture of the man together because I knew what the man looked like. And then I put another blank piece of paper on top, and I held the two pieces of paper tied together and I turned them over, took the top piece of paper off, and there was the world, just as it should be." The father smiled and the boy continued. He said, "You know, Dad, I figured if I got the man right, the world would be right." We've talked throughout our time together about how, yeah, we live in a world that has lots of problems. But all of those problems are the result of you and I not living out our individual mission. All of those problems are the result of people like you and I not doing the next right thing. Because everything we do and everything we think and everything we say has an impact somewhere, somehow on other people at some point in history. When I was a kid, my dad used to say to me, "You know, if things get tough, just take things one day at a time. And if things get really tough, just take it 1 hour at a time. And if things get really, really tough, just take it 1 minute at a time." There are going to be times in your life where you get concerned about what you should do next or how you should do next. You're going to be overwhelmed and you don't know where to go or what to do. If times are tough, just do it today. Just do the next right thing today. If times are really tough, just do the next right thing for the next hour. And if things are really, really, really tough, just do the next right thing for the next minute. Because if we get the man right, the world will be right. If we get the woman right, the world will be right. But the best way for us to get out of that place, the best way for us to overcome these feelings of overwhelmedness, is to focus on what we can affect. Because it's when we focus on what we can really affect that we have an impact.